All right, hey, what's up, guys? It's Roy here, and wanted to do a real quick video for y'all about the camera that I came across on Facebook that someone was selling for ridiculously cheap. It's a camera that I've actually owned in the past, but I sold it because I wanted to switch back to the Canon M50. But over the last month of me visiting the M50, I've kind of been missing Sony for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, I know why, because they're really good cameras, but there's just something about the Sony camera, especially their mirrorless cameras, that, well, one, that's all I know about the Sonys are their mirrorless. I've had the A5100 and I've had the A6100, but at the end of the day, someone was selling a Sony a6100, which is actually what I'm recording this on Facebook for $400. And as any of y'all know, if you know anything about cameras, an a6100 for $400 with the body and kit lens, that's a steal. I could not pass it up. I was not in the market for another camera, but I wanted to buy it because if I decided to resell it, I would make at least a $200 profit on top of this easily. Matter of fact, the last one that I had, I sold for $750 for the body and the kit lens. Now, I did have my small rig with it, and I did have 2 extra batteries that I paid for. But at the end of the day, with all that, I ended up making about a $250 profit anyways. So I had some money to play around with a little bit, and that's why I bought this. Now I'm back at square one again, though, of the dilemma of which camera to keep. Realistically, I'm probably going to keep the Sony a6100 for a few reasons. One, the 4K is a lot more usable with the Sony versus the M50. At first, I didn't really care about 4K, but then I started thinking that I do want to invest more in the future, even though I said in my last video about this that I really didn't care about that. But I started thinking about it more, and I really do think it's worth it to have usable 4K, especially with the higher bit rate that this shoots over the M50. So you're getting a better quality image and video versus the Canon M50. But even in post, if I didn't want to upload this as a 4K video on YouTube, so what I'm going to do is record it in 4K, but when I upload it, I'm going to just upload in 1080 and downgrade it, I guess, to 1080 or whatever the proper term is. But even doing that, it's going to give me a better image because it went from 4K to 1080. So in reality, I should get a better quality video versus the M50. Now, I don't get digital stabilization or in-body digital stabilization like the M50 does have, but at the end of the day, I've done plenty of stabilization tests, and if you're trying to walk like super slow with the Canon M50, yes, you're going to get some pretty smooth footage. But if you walk super slow and you're very cautious with the a6100 or the a6000 or the a5100 or the a6300 or the a6400, then none of those have IBIS, but they all have about the same look, in my opinion. Now, granted, if you're walking like at a steadier pace, yeah, the M50 might be a little bit better, but I did a stabilization test on that just yesterday, and it really didn't look that good either when I was walking through some woods. So it was real bouncy. So at the end of the day, I don't know if it's going to be that big of a difference or deal for me. But at the end of the day, most of the time, if I want like good usable footage, I'm gonna use a gimbal anyways, which I'm negotiating with someone on an M2 from Zyhune, so hopefully I get that from him. But either way, you know, it's almost mandatory that you got to use a gimbal. And then really the other thing that I really liked about the M50 that I just got yesterday actually is I downloaded a picture profile for it, which is Film Kit Flat, and it's a really nice, very similar to C-Log profile that like C-Log LUTs work really well with it. And I was really excited about that because the problem with the a6100 from Sony is you don't get any picture profiles, no S-Log2, no S-Log3, none of that. And so right now, for example, like I tweaked the portrait picture style to try to make it look a little bit better than the standard one. I actually wanted to tweak another one to make it a little more flatter so I can maybe color grade that. because like with the A6000, there is a neutral picture style that you can adjust and maybe like go all down to -3 except saturation, but you can even do that one -3. And it looks pretty decent. I've seen some people color grade it and it looks okay. But on this one, there is no neutral one. So you can, you got sunset and portrait and standard and vivid. So I don't think it matters which one you pick, but on portrait, I did adjust it a tad bit to maybe give me a little bit better looking video. So y'all can comment down below and let me know how this looks. But either way, some of the major pros about it, like I said, is the 4K. Another big pro is I really like having the ability to see my audio levels on the screen. I think that's a big win. And then you get a little more extra customization buttons. Now granted, with the A50, or excuse me, A50, the M50, you got that fully articulating screen that's touchscreen, but there's some little things that for me, like after playing around with the A6100 so much, I've learned how to like put my hand behind it and really know where the menu button is, where my function button is, and things like that, where I can control it and not need a touch screen. Now, maybe that's me, but I don't know if it's necessary. Now, would it be awesome if the touch screen or the screen on the A6100 was completely touchscreen and not just for focus? Yeah, absolutely. But I don't think it's a deal breaker. Now, if you're a true beginner, then yeah, you might want the touch screen from the M50, but the A6100 does have those extra buttons that you can customize. And the really nice thing with that function button is you can really add a lot of nice things to that, where you can get quick access to your white balance, your ISO, your aperture, your shutter speeds, all that, and be able to adjust it really easily. And another thing that I think I really like a lot more than the M50 or with the A6100 over the M50, and this is a small little thing, but I've noticed that it's a pain in my butt every time, and that's when you want to do a custom white balance when you're doing video. So with the A6100, if I wanted to do a custom white balance real quick and use my gray card, I would just go to custom white balance and then click over, and then I can instantly take a picture of my gray card, hold it up, boom, set that profile, I'm done. You can do the same thing with the M50, but the problem is you have to go into manual mode or some sort of mode to take a picture. So go out of the movie mode and go into like the picture taking mode and take the picture, go back, go to white balance, custom settings, find the picture, set it, and go through all that process. So there's a few extra steps to do it. Is it a deal breaker? Absolutely not. But I like the ease of use of switching the white balances very quickly. Now, with me being in the car, I didn't set a custom white balance. I actually just have it on auto white balance. Normally I would do like a fixed one, like daylight or something, but with my sunroof closed and it being more in the shade, when I was looking at the footage on the screen, it didn't look very good. So I just went ahead and set it to auto. So you let me know how it looks. I don't know. But other than that, guys, that's it. Let me know what camera you're shooting with down in the comments. I'm really interested to find out, because I keep on going back to Sony, and I think this go around I'm going to stick with Sony this time. I'm going to sell my M50 more than likely, which is kind of crazy because I could actually keep the M50, and for as cheap as I bought both of those cameras, it would still be less than if I went to Best Buy and bought the body only for the A6100 at Best Buy, because I think it's $750 at Best Buy for the body only, if I'm not mistaken. And I paid $400 for this with the kit lens, and on the M50 I paid, I think I paid $400 almost, or $375 or something like that. I paid really crazy deal. I mean, I got a ridiculous deal on it. So but in reality, I don't need both cameras. If I had a lot of money just to waste, sure, I'd keep them both, but I got 4 kids, 4 mouths to feed, so that is why I did this. So at the end of the day, when I do sell my M50, I will make a profit again, and that's something that's really huge in my opinion, is buying used good quality products and then being able to flip them and make a little money. So but either way, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed my rant, enjoyed my rant. Hope you don't avoid it, but enjoyed my rant about the A6100 and the M50. And hit that like button if you like the video. If you like to subscribe, I hope you do. Hit that subscribe button, and you'll get, obviously, up-to-date content as I am uploading videos. I tend to upload videos hopefully once a week or so, but with a family like I have, it is hard sometimes, but I try to do at least once a week. So other than that, guys, my next video coming out is going to be an update on my review of the Samsung Galaxy S20 FE. I did an unboxing last week of that, and I will be doing my full review by the end of this week as well, and be posting that. So have a great day, guys, and be safe out there.